Potter's Journal, Spring 2022, special order for an English pie. Special orders always come with a curse, but I make pies. I'm a pie plate channel. I make them in every size imaginable. How could it be a curse? Okay, well, they don't want one of these. They want something else. What is it they want? I'm not quite sure. I always like to look into the history and uses of my pots, so here we go. Country pottery, traditional earthenware of Great Britain. I saw nothing like what they're looking for in here. There were some bakers that were drape or slump molded, generally square, relatively low, flat bowls. This is an American example here. Also found, the cooking of the British Isles. This is a Time Life book, published in the 60s, but probably with a 50s mentality in it. Also looking back into history, I did find a couple English pies in there. They were baked in square and deep loaf pans. And that may be what they wanted, was not necessarily anything that historically accurate or what has normally been done, but I think what they wanted was, and I sketched it out here like I always do, not necessarily a deep dish pie like mine are, but an extra deep dish pie. So we will find out if I got the form right, and we will see if I've even got them coming out of the kiln with the glazes. Let's see what's in the kiln today. And she said she would take two. There is only one in this kiln. I'm not taking any chances. They're all going in individual kilns. Now, okay, there is a story here. Why is there a chip out of this glazed pot? Well, I pulled it out with glazed tongs as if they were raccoon tongs when the kiln was still hot. Why did I need to see this so fast? Well, I thought you might be getting tired of seeing the same old glazes. So here's something I tested a year or more back, hay bale from Standard Ceramics. And I even had a friend from Hawaii say what a great glaze it was. I mixed it up and carefully put the bag down, but uncarefully poured it on top of an oatmeal glaze when I was putting it in the bucket. So I've got a big bucket of mystery glaze. So it is half oatmeal and half hay bale from Standard Ceramics. And I was anxious to see it. This is it on their specked clay, with the large specks. I did a test of the two speck clays last winter. And fortunately, it works as a glaze. In fact, I really like it on the specked clay. Now, it's also here on my normal hazelnut clay body. I think it's a little bit thin. I'm not really crazy about it, but it's not bad. And since I have such a big bucket, yeah, that's what I was hoping for, but I dumped it on something else. Okay, it's on a white slip. Okay, my new glaze. I guess you can call this my own personal because it's a blended glaze. Okay, let's see what else is in here. Another test. I've been looking for, something to put the cobalt brushwork under. And here it is under the oatmeal. Now, I don't have a lot of oatmeal. I lost half of it when I dumped that other glaze on top of this. But I do like the color, but the blue did run. The cobalt did run a little bit. And I already do put it on the greenware, so that's often a problem if you put it on the glaze, but I already put it on the greenware, so. And okay, another glaze that I like is the medium cork. And here I did a very controlled end to the firing, so it came out just perfect. Couple little shots, with the oatmeal that catches, in the grooved lines, and then the sea mist on the inside. Couple of shots there. Okay, let's get further down in here. Oh, except, wait a minute, what's this? Okay, with the Jerusalem cross. Okay, some of my signature slipware. And I think there are 2 of those in here. And here I did a little half shelf. These are my little individual garlic grater plates. And there it is. I will hold you in suspense for a minute and see if it is cracked on the bottom. I did another batch of egg separators. So this time, instead of the Cheerio eyes, I just poked holes in them. So they can also function as votive candles. And so there will be, a few of these in the next few firings. And a couple of my wavy bowls. I wish I had more glazes that I could do the layer thing, like I can with the sea mist over my Albany slip glaze. But by just dipping it, okay, by here I did the banding with a dark slip on the bowl. Not quite enough contrast. The sea mist isn't quite translucent enough, but it sometimes works. It is perfect! Okay, or at least perfect for me. The black slip shows just enough. The glaze, there's no problems, and no problems in the bottom. So the curse of the special order, we've made it through. Okay, or have we? I got the order in the fall. I said I'd go to production in the winter. They called me in the end of January, and I said, well, I didn't tell them. I was shaking in my boots over this. But it is now spring, so I may have taken too long to do it. We'll see. That they still may not take it because of that. And I did find another book here, Traditional British Cooking. So, how many people have 2 books, okay, on British cuisine? Is this one of the great world cuisines? Let me know in the comments. I did come up with what they probably are doing is, savory meat dish of some kind with either a pastry crust or a shepherd pie-like thing with the potato topping. Okay, let's see what else is in the kiln. Okay, a couple more of the little garlic grater plates. We'll maybe get to this story at some point. And I don't know what these 2 test plates are about with my sea mist and my greeny glaze. I already know what they look like. This is a refire, my first firing of the year. The glaze was still too thin. I never measure it. I always go by what I feel. So I thickened it up after the first try, and I re-dipped this. So I don't do a lot of refires, or I never put more than 1 or 2 in a kiln at a time. It paid off in this instance. Okay, and now from down on the bottom, a couple more refires from a bad firing from last year. Paid off on this one. This one still looks a little bit rough in places. The cones, I will say, we'll get into the end. I'll tell you how I did the soak with a manual kiln. Another wavy. Here the black slip didn't show through. So, and I'm not into the yarn bowls, but okay, here they are. I tried to do them just with the holes because they're less fragile, and I did them, like that, but people didn't accept them. So this time I didn't bring this up to there. That, the yarn can be pushed through there. I'll have to talk to my niece, the pottery apprentice, who's actually no longer a pottery apprentice. She's now a knitter, weaver, crocheter. But this is, okay, the prize, the glaze that I accidentally dumped one on top of the... So if you want to be a glaze blender, don't do it by accident. But if you have glazes you don't like, okay, test them out in small batches. This is Standard Ceramics oatmeal glaze. 1 portion dumped on top of their pale hay bale. 1 portion and 1/4. This is it on their specked clay. And let me check the notes to get the number. They're spect clay number 1. Yeah, 122, called brown spect. And here it is over the hazelnut that I normally use, number 211. That's going to be confusing when I place an order. So if I made a mistake dumping one glaze on top of the other, oh no, I'm liable to make another mistake ordering with those numbers, clay 211 and clay 122. But what could have been a terrible accident, fortunately I'll be able to use all that glaze. I actually really like it. In fact, it's something I think I've been looking for when I use it with the slip on the spect clay. Oh, special orders. Okay, they did all come out good. They did all come out fine. They were exactly what she was looking for. She drove all the way from the other side of Pittsburgh, which had me worried too. I did send her images, so she knew what they looked like. But oh, did I get it wrong? She wanted an American apple pie plate. One so big you could stack the apples up to there and not worry about them falling out the side. Her reason for calling it an English pie was because that's the only place you could get one from, is shipped from over there, and the postage and the pots would have brought it up to $100. So that's why she passed on that one. And I guess when she saw me, she knew I was the guy to get her to make a pie plate. When she said English pie, which she did say English pie, and that's how she termed it. I mentioned, what would you do with it? You make a shepherd's pie, a venison pie, other meat or savory dish pies, and she said yes, but what she meant was, yeah, I guess you could do that. So special order. Okay, they went out the door. I still have, I made a few extra because I'll be ready the next time somebody wants an English pie. And I was lucky too with the glaze that I accidentally dumped one on top of the other. That yeah, it's maybe not my favorite choice, but it's not bad. So stop back and see what we do with that. Okay. And if there was any controversy on an English pie, I guess now it is. We've made a shepherd's pie. I'm sorry it's not one of the pastry crust ones. Now maybe there's still a bit of controversy. Is it Irish? Is it Scottish? Okay, so I guess we better call it British. And then I found out too what it's called. Okay, if you go back in history, then if it was what with lamb today, it would be called a shepherd's pie. And okay, we've got a heavy layer of the potato on top and the meat on the bottom. I think a square dish would actually work best. So, okay, there we go.